What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Unruly here, back at again with another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the patch notes for Season 6. Now, I want you guys to understand, when you click on this video, this is going to be a long one. I'm going to be breaking down the Season 6 notes, the pros and the cons between competitive and casual playstyles, and what my personal opinion is on what Respawn needs to do to make Apex Legends a much better game. Don't get me wrong, we all love Apex Legends. I love the game, I'm addicted to the game, I'll probably play it till I'm 120 years old, and Apex Legends Season 40's out. Who knows? But there's some things that the community has been asking for that they have not delivered on, and I'm not sure if they're listening or if they're planning on doing it in the long run. Granted, there's COVID, they're not working in office, they're working from home, trying to put this together. I understand it. I get it. But there's a lot of things that the community has been begging for seasons upon seasons, and getting stuff that they didn't ask for, or that is the complete opposite of what they've been asking for. And I just want to speak out on it on behalf of the community, on behalf of myself and my personal opinion, and perhaps even the channel. Maybe you guys feel the same thing. But regardless, I got the patch notes pulled up right here. Let's get right into it. So the Season 6 patch notes, it's a lengthy one. We got map changes, okay? We all anticipated map changes. They teased them throughout the season with the cranes throughout the cranes throughout Sorting Factory. They had the highlighted hollow staff markers that you could interact with, and it shows the Hammond Robotics symbol where POIs are going to be changed, whether they get expanded on, where they get completely removed. Word says that Mirage Voyage is gone. But we'll see what all happens there. You see right here the Hammond Robotics rocket. This is, I believe, outside of Lava City and Dome. New Legend Rampart. You guys know, you've seen it all. She's got the minigun ultimate. She's got the deployable shields. She's got the modded loader with when she's using LMG weapons. She increases reload speed and increases mag size, and the cooldown for the L-Star. Cover, she's got the crouch wall. She can have up to 5 of them maximum, which I think is pretty cool. You could probably build like a circle palisade. There's some cool things that you could do, block off doorways instead of worrying about Watson fences. For Watson mains, you could probably play in a more aggressive player. I know I have a friend who's a Watson main that's considering switching because, shoot, you drop the deployable walls in front of the doors. They can't get in without breaking the deployable wall. And then rather than the being defensive and having the healing aspect of Watson, you could have the aggressive minigun playstyle of Rampart. New weapon, the Volt SMG. It's been something that I've been asking for since I played Titanfall. The Volt SMG is so fun to use. In Titanfall, it was at least balanced for the most part. Some could argue otherwise. And as you know, the crossover between Titanfall and Apex Legends, they're built in the same universe. Take it as you will. They are taking guns from Titanfall and adding it into Apex Legends. They're the same universe. And they're running out of weapons. They really are. After this is just the car SMG, which is like a hybrid between the R99 and the R301. And the respectable counterparts for Titanfall and Titanfall 2 is the R97 and the R201. And then they have launchers. They have the grenade launchers, which I've been saying they should add an explosive weapon in the game. People have been saying there's a leaked bow that's coming. I hope if the bow comes, it's explosive, because there's literally a lack of that entire weapon demographic in Apex Legends. And I think it'd be pretty fun if there was like a rare crate drop. I wouldn't have to say care package cycle, because before you know it, care packages are going to have 4 slots because they have to put so many different guns away out of regular character reaches to balance out the gunplay. The new crafting system is interesting. They have the daily rotation between what you can craft inside there. I like this. It's a good change. It takes the RNG out, they said. Makes everything more structured. It's a battle royale. There's going to be RNG. The game is based off of RNG. but it makes everything just a little bit more secure in a sense. I think crafting guns is cool. Crafting guns on the fly, creating ammo, I know in there, you can get Evo armor, damage towards your Evo armor, heals, throwables, all kinds of stuff. Really great stuff. This is a good addition. The armor meta, huge change. Huge change. With the armor meta, all the other previous armors, other than gold, has been removed from the game. You literally drop onto World's Edge and Kings Canyon, if they keep Kings Canyon. I'm not quite 100% sure. But you're dropping with level 0 Evo armor, as you see here, which you can level up all the way up to white, blue, purple, and then red. Evo armor. This is good because it promotes a more aggressive playstyle. I know as a Wraith main and an aggressive Gibraltar player, like myself, I like to queue in and out, portal in and out of fights, bait and trade, play aggressive. And then with Gibby, I like to bubble forward and team fight inside the bubble. Essentially, if I'm looting all the time, I get bored of the game. But that's just me. And this promotes that. This promotes a more aggressive play style, less campy, because if you're camping the whole time and you get to end game, sure, you got the end game experience, yada yada placement, but you have literally no armor. If you avoid teams the entire time and you don't do any damage and you camp and hide and rat away, you have no armor. You literally are just a free target on the map when it comes to end game. You're free kills. And it's just that removes all that. And if you still do it while you're doing that, stop. Just stop. Anyway, but yep, early game access, loot activity. You don't have to worry about grabbing a shield right off the rip. You can get to the guns. You can help fight with your teammates right away. They reduce the armor health, which is good, because when you were at, when you were at 225 with shield, and then you had a Gibby with a 50 HP gun shield, you literally had to do 275 damage to knock a Gibraltar. So that was pretty strong. They reverted everything, so now you don't get over 200. They talked about it, like I just said. They want to reduce the time to kill because gunfights take forever, and this should help with removing the third-party aspect. Now in the patch notes, I didn't see anything thus far when it came to gunshot audio. That's something that the community has been asking for seasons on seasons, is you hear gunshots from across the map. Ultimates and explosions from across the map. And you just know, you hear it, you take off in the general direction of where you hear it, you're going to run into a squad. And by then, everyone in the lobby's there. Hollow sprays. Cosmetic, this is sick. I'm throwing one on everybody I knock. Like, this is sick. This is cool content. I enjoy it. And we'll see what happens. Battle Pass, Scout Skin. It's sick. I enjoy the Scout Skin. Quests, they follow the story for Season 5 quests, now in full color. They have a comic, yada, yada, yada. Treasure packs daily, earn crafting medals, challenge points, Apex. So nothing too expanded on the quest yet thus far. You're just getting craftables, challenge points, blah, 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 to craft stuff. Now moving into Legends, they are, as they say here, they are working on the Recon class. They are reworking, the entire Recon class. And that's Pathfinder, Crypto, and Bloodhound. Crypto, Crypto and Pathfinder, these three characters right here, I'm actually going to emphasize a lot on. Because there's a lot of changes that were made that were needed. There's also a lot of changes that weren't needed, and the character actually is a complete parallel opposite of what it was when it was created and put into Apex Legends. And they say that the robot dominates. Pathfinder does not dominate. I don't know where they get this from. They probably say he dominates because he's a high pick rate, but he does not dominate. As a casual player, beacon knowledge does not matter. As a casual player, beacon knowledge, if you're scanning for beacons, it's probably because you're playing the game at a competitive ranked aspect. That's how you're playing the game. Because in pubs, you literally just run and gun. Run and gun. If you're camping till endgame, it's probably because you're a Caustic Watson Gibraltar team, and you need to stop. Just kidding. You guys play however you want. But If you're playing Beacon Knowledge, you should be playing Ranked or you should be playing Competitive Apex Legends. They nerfed his grapple. Pathfinders used to be annoying to chase, but they were super fun to play as a casual player, and they were actually viable and competitive. Crypto, I don't think he needed to change at all. The changes that they did make sense, and I agree with, because of the current meta that they talk about with, as you'll see here in a second, between Wraith, Crypto, and Revenant. The changes that need to be made were important. And here they talk about they do buff Bloodhound. They buff Crypto, and they have this weird way of buffing Pathfinder. Again, now Bloodhound, Crypto, and Pathfinder can use survey beacons. So it's not just Pathfinder anymore. This change for Crypto, we all have been talking about and the community requested. Bloodhound is just an additional add-on. So it makes survey beacons a little bit more viable, other than just running Pathfinder. Again, if you're using survey beacons, you're not really a casual player. You could probably do it for challenges, but you're probably playing end game to try to win rather than chase people down and risk losing to a better squad. Pathfinder, the community has been asking to reduce his grapple cooltime. Reduce it. They nerfed it, I believe it's like 35 seconds between grapples. That's way too long, especially when a player is not good at grappling. Excuse me, if you're not good at grappling, you're not going to go very far. So they go along and they talk about buffing his ultimate. Zip lines and zipline plays I don't see often. I do see rogue zip lines across the map here and there. King's Canyon, I don't really see them. World's Edge I do because of the higher buildings, elevation, such like that. But reducing the cooldown on the zip line is good. You'll see a lot more zip lines and such. But each time he scans a survey beacon, the cooldown is reduced. So rather than the grapple being changed for Pathfinder, they're working on the zipline gun. So Pathfinder becomes a more team-based character, which I agree. Reducing this cooldown it will be nice. Scanning survey beacons, again, if you're playing Beacon Knowledge, you're probably just playing for endgame. You're probably playing a little bit sweatier than you need to be. You probably should be playing ranked. But this buff for the zipline gun does help getting your team throughout the map. With the map changes coming for World's Edge, that's probably needed. So I agree with this. But there's nothing in here about the grapple. The grapple was Pathfinder's Q for Wraith. So Pathfinder grapples in and out, right? He can get away faster, yada, yada, yada. People were annoyed about it. Octane does it better. And they didn't change Octane. They buffed Octane with the launch pads. But we'll talk about that some other time. So this change here was good. No zipline grapple, or no grapple change. Grapple change needed to be made. 25 seconds is probably as good. 15 seconds to 12 seconds with gold helmet, that's kind of annoying. But that was his way of getting out of gunfights. The guy's literally a 7-foot-tall refrigerator. Like, can someone help the man out with the hitbox? Anyway, going down with Bloodhound fulfills the role as a tracker and gatherer of information. You know, the footsteps, blood trails, your reloading, all that stuff that he picks up. Doors open, you know. So they want to move. They're working on his ultimate here. So Beast of the Hunt gains more duration when he knocks down or kills an ultimate, or kills a character, I'm sorry, before his ultimate runs out. So you get more time inside essentially the thermal aspect of it. Beast of the Hunt, Eye of the Eye Father, comes now twice as fast during Beast of the Hunt. So you could scan more, scan faster. This is going to promote aping. Teams are going to be running this to be more aggressive. You could imagine a Wraith and Bloodhound partnered together. These are going to be the new... Bloodhound's going to be the new Season 1 Wraith. He's literally going to know where you are at all times. He's going to ape you. He's going to chase you the entire time. Increase speed boost. You're literally going to get ran down by this guy like a sick, disgusting maniac. Serial killer level type stuff. Here we go. The extension here. So now it goes from 5 seconds to 15 seconds. every time you knock somebody. So you're literally in that probably, if you wipe multiple squads and get a third party going, you're probably in that shit for another 2 minutes after the fight. It's crazy. Especially if you're knocking multiple targets after reses, which I'm not sure if it stacks, but if it does stack, that's crazy. Time usage, so you're going into Beast in the Hunt faster. So when the animation of looking at his hands and then going nuts is faster. You're literally, boom. That's actually faster than Wraith's Season 1 Q. Moving on to Crypto. Crypto using survey beacons was something the community had asked for. It makes sense, right? He's got a drone. Why not? So they did make that change. But here's changes that didn't need to be made that's stronger and makes Pathfinder useless. Activate respawn and survey beacon so they can call a teammate from his drone. That makes sense. If they're interactive with other stuff, why not? Survey beacon makes sense. Makes Crypto more of a team player than he already is. And then they changed the hitbox for the drone, so it's easier to hit, but it's double the HP. The EMP now slows teammates down. This was to slow down the meta of Wraith, Crypto, and Revenant. It's because you're just literally steamrolling teams because you get to attack them twice head-on, and they can't counter it unless they Watson fence right away or they're a caustic team. To get more barrels down is something that you couldn't really counter it, and you got steamrolled for it. Drone HP increased. They increased the hitbox of the drone. Also, because he has no abilities without his drone, we figured to make room for more stronger. So now I believe he gets this information for the circle faster than a regular respawn beacon. Or I'm sorry, the survey beacon. They talk about how happy they are with Revenant being used more often, but because of this meta right here, they're like, you're just aping kids. This is where a nerf to Wraith comes in. So, Wraith mains, if you thought you were nerfed enough, you were not nerfed enough, because now your team aspect has been nerfed. So your individual queuing out after knocking 2 people and you're literally 1 HP and you need to heal because you're sweaty, but you can't finish off the last guy, well, guess what? Now you do the cha-cha real smooth, get on out, and then you can't take your portal after that if you get reset while in the death totem. So for 2 seconds after being recalled from the death totem, that's if you go in and you die in the totem. So you get back to the totem, and that's when teams typically heal and then take the Wraith portal through. Now there's a delay on the Wraith portal, so you cannot ape teams as fast, which actually ruins the team aspect if you're running Revenant. And that's for all players, by the way. So Revenant essentially silences his teammates when it comes to using Wraith portals, which is good to slow down that aggressive playstyle. And then Crypto EMP. So essentially, to continue using this meta, you just have to change your timings. Okay, Revenant Totem, and then before Wraith pops the portal, you need the EMP. EMP, Wraith pops the portal, then you go in. Then you only have the 2-second delay. You don't have to worry about your teammates getting stunned. You don't have to worry about sitting at the totem for too long. You just change. All it does is change the timings of the meta. That's it. It changes the timings. It doesn't fix this meta. You can still use this meta. You just change your timings on how it's done. Change to Octane. Stim while healing. The stim will not remove the slow when it incurs of healing. So you can move faster while healing, I guess. But it doesn't reduce the slow. Rework of Loba, you can now use, I believe, her totems faster. The cooldown on her black market is cut in half. Gibraltar defensive bombardment, they added 1.5 minutes, which typically teams don't end up worrying about the defensive bombardment because you're running Watsons or another Gibby. And in World's Edge, teams nowadays know how to get out of a Gibby ultimate a lot better. So this nerf to Gibby, useless. It's just going to piss the community off more with the Gibby ultimates. Bangalore, the community's been begging for a Bangalore change forever. She has not been reworked in a long time. And all they do has been changing the Rolling Thunder. That's all they've been doing is changing the Rolling Thunder. Now you get it more often. Essentially, they buffed it and then nerfed Gibby. Rolling Thunder is literally a slower version of the Gibby Ultimate. You can get out of it a lot easier. In my opinion, with the Rolling Thunder, what they should do is they should be doing damage on impact. Reduce damage because it's not a literal meteor like Gibby does. But if a missile lands next to you, you should take damage equivalent to like when you're shooting a loot drone down and it crashes and does damage to you if you're too close. And then the time should not have been changed. And then probably a rework with her is probably involving the smoke launcher, adding extra smokes. Maybe she can see through smoke. Something along those lines is a better way to buff Bangalore than just changing her cooldown time. Really doesn't do much for the community. This Watson change is very important. She now intercepts caustic barrels as they're being thrown into the base. Because before, to counter an entire Watson team without the use of a crypto and the uncounterability of a caustic, you just threw barrels in the building. You threw barrels in, you popped them. The barrels are corrosive, so they break down all the fences. Then your team comes in and apes them, especially because your team no longer gets slowed by the gas, which is weird because you can stun teammates with an EMP regardless of armor, but if you run through toxic gas, you don't get slow. Think about that one, Respawn. Anyway, loot changes. They add the energy mags, the turbocharger. I don't like what they did with the R9. I think they could rework with the R9. I think the R9 was fantastic the way it was. It was rewarding for good players. If you could track someone, one clipping is literally rewarding you for being a good shot. Now, the aim assist argument could change that, yada, yada, yada. But the R9 was a rewarding weapon to use. Turbocharger and the Devotion. Do I agree with the Devotion coming back onto the floor loot? I do not. The Devotion was already very strong as a care package weapon. As is, you could actually squad wipe with the Devotion in one clip if you were actually good at a good shot. The precision choke change was something I've been saying forever. It was literally useless. The only weapon that you could attach it to was the triple take because you vaulted the Peacekeeper, and the Peacekeeper automatically came with the choke. So they're just like, okay, we're just going to get rid of it because it made no sense. But you can toggle on and off. It's cool. Reason for toggling makes no sense because the triple take is a sniper. This right here is useless. R9 care package. So they increase the damage on it, and then increase the mag size but reduce the ammo. So buff, nerf, care package nerf. So you're just going to one-clip people more often. That's it. 32-round mag, more chance to one-clip somebody. Community's still going to be pissed about it. Devotion going to ground loot, but they reduced it to its original values because I think it was up to 52, I believe. Fully kitted weapons, so you can no longer find these gold weapons. DMR, or the Longbow, Hemlock, Spitfire, EVA 8, and the Re. You can no longer find those as gold weapons. Now you can find a gold Devotion. Nice. Care package weapon on the ground. Mastiff, maxed out Mastiff. Nice. Care package weapon on the ground. Triple take makes sense. Flatline. The Volt. This is good because of the implementation of the new gun, and you know, it entices people to actually use it. This is good. These three are good. Having Season 1 care package weapons on the ground, not good. Not good. These are equivalent to the care package weapons in there now. Also, I wanted my Mastiff or my Peacekeeper back, but that didn't happen. Anyway, sniper ammo and energy ammo. Energy ammo obviously bringing back, or obviously being changed because of the increase of weapons. But they, yeah, so they just reduced it back to 20. Which was something that they were asked to change a while ago. So anyway, that might make sense because of the Devotion. Sniper ammo, they increased the pickup for them and increased the stack size. So you can carry more sniper ammo. This was reverted ages ago and brought back. But the reason why they did that is because of the charge rifle. Now it takes 2 ammo per shot. Kind of like how if you had the select fire on the Havoc, how it took more energy ammo. Hemlock recoil reduced. the mode time between bursts was also decreased. So recoil was decreased, recoil between the shots was decreased, and the burst timing was decreased. This lowers the skill gap, and this gun is going to be more insane than the single fire version, because it's going to be easier to shoot. It shoots multiple bullets at a time rather than a single fire weapon, or a single bullet weapon, I should say. Lowers the skill gap, easier to use gun. Charge rifle, this makes sense. Probably a damage increase when it came to not the full burst, but the regular laser, because you could be hitting people with the laser for literally 8 and then miss the whole burst, and that's it. You know, if you're getting a heat laser transmitted onto you, I think it should do more damage than 5, 6, 7, 8. Gun's annoying to use. Triple take buff was needed. Triple take was literally horrible. It was not a sniper selection. People were still using the Sentinel. People were still using the longbow. If you didn't have a choke on it, it was pretty much useless at range. Peacekeeper, I don't know why this is in the patch notes, built the choke up into the system by default. The only way to get the Peacekeeper is in the care package, and care package weapons are already maxed out. This was stupid. I don't know why it's in the patch notes. Toggle fire enabled with the choke. This is good, I guess, because of the fact some people don't like using the choke. People's shots get off when they use the choke, because they're usually using it at point-blank range anyway. Spitfire stability. This is going to make the gun a lot stronger because of if they keep the graffiti mod. Easier to shoot, more ammo. You're literally just, with one magazine, you can run over a whole team if you're good. Update to the Havoc recoil pattern. Makes it easier to use again. The community literally crucified you for not changing how overpowered this gun was, and you literally just reverted what we asked you to do last time. New recoil pattern. People are going to learn it. They're going to pick it up. Existing recoil pattern had a constant horizontal movement. Characters move at a horizontal way, okay? People are strafing back and forth and running across. Its horizontal recoil made it easier to shoot. So all you do is change the recoil pattern and make it more consistent with its existing recoil. So now instead of a wave, if you're trash at shooting the gun, now it's just a straight line. You reverted what we asked you to do last time, and people just don't see it. Mozambique buff, I agree with this. Mozambique's literally hot trash. So this is good. There's so many times I'm chasing someone down with a Mozambique, and I just need one more shot, and then they turn around after they pick up another gun on the ground, and they mow me down. P2020 increased damage, hammer point damage change, increased the mag size. I agree and disagree. Actually, I think I agree with all of this. And I think was that the damage multiplier. I think it's a good change for the P2020. More valuable off the ground. The Sentinel requires one cell charging if a player has gold armor. People really don't use the disruptor rounds. People barely use the Sentinel as is. Everyone's just running and gunning. So, and poking is essentially the scout game again. So this is cool, I guess, when it comes to if you have gold armor and using a Sentinel, but it doesn't entice you to use the Sentinel because you have gold armor. What entices you to use gold armor is because of the heal benefit. Recoil buff for the Prowler. Reduced burst mode, increased horizontal recoil, and auto mode. So from my understanding, it's going to be a little bit harder to strafe and shoot. But it's going to be easier when it comes to range, I guess, for the burst. Because I know shooting at someone with range, the burst just messes you up. Quality of life, they changed the care package weapons to red. Wasn't something that nobody ever talked about. I didn't see it. World's Edge performances, this is good because you literally drop frames hard in these locations. Tree, not so much, but I know in Dome, the lava really messes you up. Skyhook really messes you up because of all the buildings. That's good. Alteration of the ring, prevent late zones from centering in unplayable terrain, and reduce the predictability of zones pool. Pro players are going to end up figuring this out. So this is literally going to be for the first 3 months. Pro players, experienced players are going to figure this one out. Bug fixes to Bangalore, skins and ADS speed, an exploit, being able to see through smoke from a chain fence. Didn't really hear about it. And then this is just all bugs. All bugs. Visual effects with the drone. Gibby airstrike, being able to, you see the markers in the building, stuff like that. Loba Black Market. These are all bugs that you occasionally run into. You don't really see them on console, but PC you definitely do. Fixing an extra teleport melee. It's not stuff I didn't run into. Fixing an issue with Wraith portals pushing players underneath the underneath death boxes. Velocity of when you're hitting extra buttons. This is a good change. Death totem changes. What I can see with Wraith is what they need to fix is dying inside the void. I have clips. There's too many times I see teammates and friends literally get one clipped out of the void. And that's technically comes with a server issue or a bug. Either way, you need to increase your tick rate or fix the bug. Fixed Evo armor. This is good because you change the change is important. Fixed where train killing players when coming out of Wraith portal. Bug. I actually ran into that. Vertical zip lines not quickly placing players to get off of them. Spectator. This is a private match issue. This is for pro players. You don't have to worry about it. Glitches with Doc not healing you. I've ran into that. Makes sense. But everything from there, the bug fixes, that's all good. Again, I knew this was going to be a lengthy video. This was a breakdown of what needs to be changed, what was useless, what they reverted from what we had asked for before. And Respawn, I really hope you do end up seeing this video. And again, I love your game. Take my insults. If you take any offense to anything, take it with a grain of salt. It's just out of frustration from what we've dealt with. And I understand that your studio is limited to what you can do because of COVID. You're at home, yada, yada. I understand. And I have sympathy with you when it comes to that. But there's some stuff in the game that just doesn't make sense. And there's some stuff that you might just have to rework a bunch of things, actually. Some of this stuff is just, I think you need to look back at what past seasons, what worked, what didn't work, and incorporate all the changes that you made and go from there. I think a lot of legend builds need reworked, especially because you've been, in my personal opinion, implementing legends that just aren't meta changing. You added Octane as the first one. Everyone was fine. He's a fun pub character to push everyone with. He didn't really change the meta. Watson definitely changed the meta. Her defensive playstyle, fantastic. It was defenses was something we've never seen before in the game. She's meta, viable. You go on to add Revenant. Until you buffed him, he was not viable at all. Crypto before him, the change you made, he was viable. Beforehand, cryptos were just useless. Loba, you're changing her black market boutique. That's it. Her teleport still doesn't work in certain maps. Pro players aren't allowed to run her because it breaks certain maps in the game. I think there needs to be a change with Loba. I really do. I don't know what you need to rework with, but something with Loba needs changed. 'Cause she's still not viable. We see her in the map, but she doesn't have a high pick rate compared to other legends, right? And you want to change that. You want to diversify your game. Something needs to change there because she's still not viable. And Rampart is literally going to make Gibraltar obsolete, in a sense. Actually, I could see a change with Watson more than Gibraltar. The big deployable shields, the Gibby Dome still wins. When it comes to that, when you're hiding behind the shield, you can still get hit by Gibby ultimate. Gibby doesn't really do that, but Watson, you can see a change to Watson. You can see Watson players become more aggro because they're using Rampart. Why? Because they can lock down an entire area, put barricades in doorways, and they have miniguns. So the season, the content is good. Weapon meta change, not so good. Legend change, better. But please, if you guys did watch and stick to the end of the video, thank you guys so much for actually listening to me vent, listening, and me breaking down the patch notes. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys enjoy my content, again, like always, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you don't want to miss the content. If you disagree with me and you want to argue points, just drop it in the comments. I'll gladly hear what you say because I could probably have said something really stupid and I could be like, you know what, you're right. And I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and I'll catch you guys in the